someone's in the dark room. Mr. von Schwesterkrank? Are you in there?
Who's there?
Nancy Drew. I just wanted to ask you some questions.
I'm very busy. You'll have to come back.
I just wondered what you were doing in Square du Vert Galant Park.
I was just taking a walk.
You dropped an obituary about Noisette Tornade. Shall I leave it for you?
There's no need. I don't want it.
Why were you carrying it around?
Because I was going to send it to my grandmother. I thought she knew the woman. Turns out she did.
You also dropped some kind of trinket. Looks like a miniature clock.
That's something my great-uncle Hans gave me. It's actually a key. It opens the panel over there to the right of the bookshelf. He lived here during the war. The place has been in the family ever since.
What's behind the panel?
Go ahead and see for yourself. Just be prepared to go a little cuckoo.
Modern European History, Lynn Manrique.
Hello, my name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from Paris. Actually, I talked to you earlier when you tried to call Minette.
She's finally calling me back? Wonderful. Please, put her on.
I'd like to, but I'm afraid she's still too busy to talk to you.
Oh,
But if you don't mind, could I ask you a couple of questions about Noisette Tornade?
certainly.
You mentioned hidden plunder in your letter to Minette. What did you mean?
Some people said that during the war she took various pieces of artwork, mostly from churches, and stashed them away somewhere so they wouldn't fall into enemy hands.
That sounds pretty heroic to me.
Well, some people said she stole them for herself, and unfortunately, the artwork remains lost to this day. No one knows exactly what Noisette took, or if indeed she took anything. You see, from 1942 until the liberation of Paris, Noisette worked as a translator for the Germans by day and an encoder for the French resistance by night. This, as you might imagine, made everyone suspicious of her, both French and Germans alike. And after the war, things got ugly. Especially when people found out she was romantically involved with a German soldier. His name was Hans von Schwesterkrank.
You're kidding me. Was he by any chance related to Dieter von Schwesterkrank, the fashion photographer?
I'm afraid I have no idea. Hans left Paris right after the war and never returned, leaving Noisette to fend for herself. She was tried as a collaborator in 1946 and acquitted, but the experience left her quite bitter. She never married, you know, very private person. She served as Paris's director of public works for more than 20 years, yet not one person has been able to tell me what her favorite color was. In any case, Noisette was terribly hurt that the city she loved had turned on her like that. After her trial, she told the press that the truth of what she'd done during the war resided in her and in the person and place she loved the most. And that was that. She never spoke of her wartime activities again. I assume that the person she was referring to was Hans von Schwesterkrank, who passed away a year or two ago, and that the place was her beloved Moulin, which is where she lived for almost half a century after the war. That's why I'm hoping Minette will allow me to visit it. Now, I've got a question for you. In the hours before she died, Noisette was said to have constantly muttered 3 words: red, left, green. Is there anything inside the Moulin that has to do with red, left, green? Anything at all?
No, but I'll keep that in mind and let you know if I see something.
I'd appreciate it. Any other questions?
You've been very helpful. Thank you.
Call back anytime.
Mr. von Schwesterkrank? Are you in there?
Who's there?
Nancy Drew. I just wanted to ask you some questions.
I'm very busy. You'll have to come back.
But this is really important. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Well, if you want, you could take some stock photos for me.
Sure.
The list of things I need pictures of is on my desk.
I'll get right on it. Oh no, the list is in French.